What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog here on a slightly rainy, police going crazy everywhere, getting tickets because I guess they need revenue Wednesday. And if you don't know who I am, Erica Williams, author of the Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the palm of your hand, babies. And you know, the best way for you to support this show as you come in is hit that like button. The likes are free. Likes are free. Drop your city and state, because when you drop your city and state, it lets me figure out where to do meetups and how to meet you guys and how to do more hangouts with you guys in person. So let's kick it. You see the title. The title of this video, the content of this video is going to be no Section 8 for February. No checks for y'all February. 2, I was right about Chattanooga, Tennessee. Let's go back and rewind YouTube 2-3 years ago when I was talking about Chattanooga, Tennessee, and the fact that Gary Vee had put a office there and several other startup companies were putting offices there. I was right, baby. I was right. I got good beam footage from 2 years ago. Also, number 3, massive fraud in Navy Federal Bank. Massive fraud. Just came from the bank. And there's reasons I have multiple bank accounts. This is the reason I have multiple bank accounts, because if fraud happens, they change everything. They change all their systems. They change all the way they do things. All of a sudden, everything's got to change. And you got to be on the lookout for that. There's a reason I always advocate for you guys. And keeping everything at one bank, all that's going to do, if something goes wrong, is now all your stuff is locked up, okay? All your opportunities for loans is locked up with that one bank. Everything is touched with that one bank. And people think I'm joking. You know, when people steal your identity, all your stuff is at one bank, right? So people get locked up. Their money get locked up. Their time get locked up. They just freaking out. Okay? And so that's today's show. That's today's topics. Again, hit the like button as you come in. There's 80 of you here. 22 likes. Come on. The likes are free, baby. Hit it as you come on in. Drop your city and state. But listen, I was right, yo. I hate saying it. I hate being that person like, I'm right all the time, baby. But, you know, I'm a big studier of trends. I'm a big studier of newspaper articles. I spend about an hour in the mornings reviewing things and checking out stuff like, okay, what does this mean, right? When I see articles over and over and over saying the same thing, but in different cities and different states, I pay attention. There's a reason I go to conferences, to be on the tipping point, the spear of information. All right? There's reasons to everything you see me doing. There's reasons to it. Okay. Prime example. We'll start with Navy Federal. The reason I tell people to have more than one bank, to have more than one checking account, is because, and this is before I get on the road here, is because you just never know, right? You top all your money at one bank and you come in, you need to be refinanced, you need to do something special, you need to do anything. And that bank says no. Well, now you're locked out. And you're like, well, Erica, what bank should I go to? That is why I'm always advocating. Thank you, Trucker Maven, for the $2 super chat. That's why I'm always advocating for you to have more than one bank. And the police are out here deep, y'all. They're literally like 5 cars deep at this one exit. And I'm like, are they short on money? Whoa, Diane Young, thank you for the $25 super chat. You guys are the sponsors of the show today. So look. You know, as we're driving, we try to be safe. But I am still going to advocate ever more. So I was at Navy Federal, long and the short of it. I go to Navy Federal and I say something about cash advance, but I actually meant to say cashier's check. Homegirl goes into this long 15-minute spiel about cash advances. And I'm like, what happened? She's like, girl, we got hit with $1 million on one day in fraud at 3 banks. And then they got hit with millions on the East Coast. And I go, well, was it a group of people? What was it? She was like, girl, it was a combination of people, you know, when they have the little system where they have a system where they swipe their card, but the numbers don't match, you know, the card reader, you know, the whole like dudes buying the numbers off the internet and then they imprint the card, but the card and stuff it's not matching, right? Wait a minute, YouTubers are going to take a hit on donations, Okay, I don't know who this is. But I'm at a stoplight, so don't worry, you guys. Anyway, so People came in trying to swipe for cash advances. Long and the story short, it was like massive fraud on multiple banks across the nation, East Coast and in Texas and some other stuff. So what did that all that showed me is all the guys and girls, and make sure I say girls, that are doing that manufacturer spending, that are pulling cash advances off, all the real estate investors that are pulling cash advances off, when you have those $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 cards. Oh no, baby, you are not going to be pulling them off of Navy Federal. That is going to be a wrap. Now you got to bring 2 ID. They're going to have to check 2 of your cards, and you got to answer 2 questions on your account. I don't know about you, but 2 forms of ID, 2 cards, and 2 questions of your personal product. There are going to be some irritated people up in there. I can already tell you that's going to be clogging up the lines, but it will protect some people from fraud. I just found that to be amazing that Navy Federal got hit. And she told me that, oh yeah, that's a ring. Oh, got it. That's what I told her. I said, was it a ring of people? She wouldn't answer. And I figured she didn't want to answer because if you know anything about American Greed, or you know anything about credit unions or banks, when the customers come in asking too many questions, it's a flag, right? It could be somebody a part of that ring asking questions to see what the bank knows, yada, yada, yada. So when she started clamming up, I just stopped. I was like, well, I didn't want a cash advance, boo-boo. I wanted to do a cashier's check. And she was like, oh, okay, my bad. And then she goes on and like, she was like, oh, okay, I understand what you need. And again, you guys, I'm driving, so I'm not going to really see your questions. If it's super chatted, I can see it because it'll be a different color on the screen. But overall, you're going to have to wait till I stop again to where I'm going to my destination. But when I saw that, I was like, dang, Navy Federal is getting hit. That's terrible. But again, you got to realize Navy Federal also had to get better anyway, because Navy Federal, the baby cousin of USAA, when they had the loophole that you could get a Navy League membership for $25, and the Navy League membership out of whoever the mods are, if somebody's talking crazy, block them, put them to the wall. I'm not playing with this today. I'm driving, I can't read it, but if you're playing with me today, you're gonna get blocked to the wall. Moderators, you are free to block and delete people all day. You already know your job. Block and delete them left and right. I don't have time for it today. I really just don't. So there's 120 of y'all in here. Let's all do right and hit that like button. It's 53 likes. But anyway, so if Navy Federal got hit like that, what that tells me is all of a sudden now they're going to change how a lot of people get cash advances. And who does cash advances the most? I'm just going to say this from a perspective of the real estate market. A lot of house flippers, a lot of contractors, a lot of guys who need some cash real quick off their cards. That's who I see using credit cards the most like that. I don't see your everyday Joe pulling money off their credit cards like that. I just do not. I haven't seen it. Now they may be, but I ain't seeing it. Now what does that mean? That means don't tie all your money up at one bank, and don't tie all your money up with one type of credit card. I see people out here showing all their credit cards and pictures, and they'll have 3 or 4 Navy Federal cards, 2 or 3 USA cards, and then, you know what I mean? And all I'm saying is that's great. You're getting a lot of access to capital from that particular bank because everybody knows Navy Federal is a friendly friend, but be careful. Now, back to what I was saying before I went on my little rant there. Navy Federal had a thing where if you had Navy League membership with San Diego, you could get Navy Federal credit union access. Well, once the Black Twitter got a hold of that information, and once Facebook got a hold of that information, and they put it all over the internet, all over Facebook groups, all over the forums, everywhere. Navy Federal had like 1 million people send $25 to Navy League, right? And so it overwhelmed Navy League. And so what Navy League did is send the money. Like if you were in Philly, San Diego Navy League was like, this don't make no sense. And they sent your money to Navy Leagues on the, oh, there's no mods here yet? Okay, don't worry. If I give me a chance, I'll make some people some mods because I don't have time for the game today. I will bust y'all up. Anyway. So what they started doing is that's $25 million. So Navy League can't even explain, okay, we don't even know where all this $25 million came from. So Navy League started sending it to other Navy Leagues, which were on the East Coast, Boston, Florida, everywhere where the Navy is, that's where a Navy League is, right? It's to support the Navy. And what ended up happening is Oh, hold on. Let's make some people some mods here because I really don't have time for it. Hold on. When I get to my next stop, I'm going to get all of y'all out of here. Anyway, so then so then all these other Navy leagues are getting millions of dollars, and they're like, yo, chill, don't send us no more money. Thank you. Doug is here, Greek surgeon. Go up in the comments, take some people out. If they are tripping, if they're saying weird stuff, take them on out. We got some weird ones in here. It looks like we have some trolls, race trolling. Get them on out. All right. Anyways, so Navy League, once they did that, Navy Federal Bank was like, oh my God, our loophole has been hacked. Get them, loophole closed. Now, same thing. This is why USAA in the beginning, not anymore, but Navy League and PenFed, they bend over backwards to help military and their family, right? So that's why you see all these people with these like $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 Navy Federal cards, and they got bad credit because it was meant to help military folks out. So when all these other people start going up in there, now you see less screenshots of people going, I got 20,000 from Navy Fed, right? And all these Facebook groups. But what's going to happen when stuff like this happen, fraud? They're going to lock it down. Navy Federal going to lock it down. They're not going to be giving out all this money like they used to. They just not. To get hit by 1 million in Texas, and then she said they got hit all over East Coast too. That's $1 million in cash advances. Even if you had a $20,000 credit card, okay, how many people would that be? 5 would be 100,000. So then you need 10 of those. So that's 50 people. That's a ring of people. Straight up, that's a ring of people for $1 million. But that's my whole point about making sure you have multiple banks. And in the private Facebook group, we've put up, I'm going to see if I can go back and find the post. If not, we'll just repost it, of the top 100 banks I think and credit unions should be working with in your city, in your state, right? Because most people just go, Bank of America's in my city, I'll just do that. And to me, that's lazy. But anyway, next. Section 8. Section 8. Now, listen, our family does not take Section 8. We have nothing against Section 8. The original purpose of Section 8 was to stop the massive building of projects, right? Certain cities knew projects meant crime, you're centralizing a lot of poor people in one area, whatever, right? And so what they would do is Section 8 was a way for elderly and families to live affordably in other neighborhoods. What neighborhoods? Neighborhoods that are suburbs, neighborhoods that have good schools, just a mix, so that the children wouldn't all be concentrated in a project, right? They already knew projects were causing a lot. The concentration of projects were causing a lot of crime. So that was the increase of Section 8. Now, the bad rap Section 8 gets is people come and tear up the house because they're giving you $30 a month, $200 a month for a place that's $2,000 a month, and they're not treating it with the same respect they would if they were paying all their money out of pocket. That's the bad rap it gets. It's not always true, but that's just something people would talk about. So Section 8, so come out in the news today, some lawyers are basically suing Donald Trump and the government because it was announced that the Section 8 vouchers would not be paid for February, right? They would not be paid February. So what does that mean? That means, prime example, if you look all over Instagram right now, it is true. Yeah, the government is not paying Section 8 for February. And so you're talking about just if you think about New York, there's one part of New York, the lady was saying there's 120,000 homes that will not be getting a check, and which means the people owners, which I'm like, woo, that's 120,000 people. You don't think that'll affect the economy? It will. And then she said across the nation it's millions. Now, here's my gripe about Section 8 as a person who used to work on staff at a brand new apartment complex, that the only reason the apartment complex was taking Section 8 was to get $1 million in essentially incentives and grants for a place they had already built, right? They had already built it, but they were milking the system to get money back. And to me, that's unfair for, that's why the builders are doing stuff like this so crazy. The builders are building all these places knowing, oh, well, if we just let some Section 8 in or some mixed income, we'll get money from the state, right? And we'll get money and grants and incentives for making this property low income. Same thing people do when they do with veterans homes, right? So they try to figure out a way to do veterans housing. Not that they're not trying to help veterans, but a lot of them do it so they can get money essentially from the government, right? to pay them back for their investment. Now, what does this do? This will curb in the future a lot of these companies who are, this will really, really curve a lot of that we're seeing, a lot of the Section 8 kind of buildup that we're seeing, that basically builders and investors are doing, thinking they're slick. So, can landlords evict them? I'm at a stoplight. So, technically, no. Technically, no, because here's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to say, hey, I paid my $200. I paid my $200 and the government's supposed to pay the rest. That was the deal. Now, this is what I would do. If I was a landlord, what is really going to hit is the landlord who has like 50 houses and they all on Section 8. That's who it's really going to hit. The smaller guy who has a bunch of Section 8 and thinks, government always pays on time. The government always pays on time. Like, okay, if it's what you say, right? It's going to hit the smaller guy. But what I would do is I would be talking with my bank right now. I would be at the bank right now. If any of those properties have a mortgage on them, I would be in conversation daily with the bank saying, hey, this is uncertain. I might need an advance, like whatever. I would be doing as much as I possibly could to make sure it's documented that I went and tried to talk to the bank about the potential of me not paying. I would be on the phones being like, I called, I tried to, make sure they knew. Like, I would be above and beyond trying to make sure they knew that I possibly not be able to pay. So I would do that for my safety. That's what I would do, right? Now, government jobs, the safest job out there. Yeah, black people love government jobs, right? But on the flip note, if you're military, some of these people who have, our family loves renting to military. They are under that same umbrella. But again, military people, if you got Navy Federal, Penn Fed, or USA, they already gave you your money and they can give it to you for free. They ain't even charging you money for the loan. So there's really no excuse, and it's only been 21 days. I know people act like, well, Erica, you try to work with no check. That's the point. You should have savings. You should have some money. You should have some money in your TSP account. This is how I already know. If you have a TSAP account, most of these people could draw some checks from them. But what people have done is they've already taken money from their TSP and they owe their TSAP, which is their 401 account. So now they can't take more money from it because they're still in the process of paying back their original loan. I see it all the time. This is the same thing middle class people try to do with their insurance. They'll try to take a loan out against their insurance policy value. And now when they do really need it, like it's not a vacation, it's not a trip, it's not just remodeling their house, like they really need it, it's an emergency, they can't get it. And this hit at the perfect time too, like right at the Christmas. Because some people may have had some extra reserve, but Christmas they went all out, right? So this hit at a perfect time. And all it does is remind you that like one source of income is not the business, yo. You gotta have some money. And I'm not even telling people, oh, you got to start your own business. I'm not even saying that. I'm not even taking it to that level. What I am going to say is, if you didn't have investments before this, now you should have some investments before, right? Like this is, if you didn't have a sign before, this is your sign. If your wife is overspending and you're a husband, this is your sign. If your husband's overspending, buying trucks, doing crazy mess, this is your sign. Okay, like this is the sign for everybody to, even if you don't want to own a business, and I ain't trying to make you need to have a setup where extra money comes in somewhere, or you have money stored away. Because again, people who have money stored away, what they gonna do? Just liquidate it. It's not that big of a deal. But if you ain't got no money set away, you ain't got no money saved up, y'all ain't got no other ways to make money. Because everybody's sharing the story of two women who making cheesecakes, and I'm glad they making cheesecakes. Cheesecake is delicious. And they selling cakes left and right. But the thing of it is, even though they're selling cheesecakes and they have the story of like, we got put out the shutout, end of the day, where were their reserves? I'm proud of them for selling cheesecakes. I'm proud of them making money, but oh, what's up, Fifi? She was able to, whoa, it's a lot of flashing of colors. Hold on, y'all. I don't know why I can't do it on my phone. I don't know, Fifi, you might have to update your phone, but thank you for the $5 super chat. Lord have mercy. I have compassion for folks on Snap because I've been there. The Section 8 folks, not so much. I know folks been on Section 8 8 years. Get off the nitty. Goddess Noel. Listen, and listen, there's a woman on YouTube. I'm going to try to go find her. And I'm going to tell y'all her channel. I promise you. She lives like almost in like a penthouse type deal in Miami. And she's on Section 8. And all that penthouse is trying to do is subsidize building this multi-million-dollar place with some low-income tenants. Like, you know, if you have a big place and you put like 4 or 5 low-income tenants, nobody's going to notice, right? Some people might complain, but nobody's really going to notice. But even in New York, this builder, he built one part of the building that's super high end. Then he built this other part of the building with a separate interest, like something out of the 1950s where the help goes to the back. And it's for low-income housing in New York. And people were like, shame on him making those people go to the back of the building. They should be grateful that they get to live and have the address in New York so their kids can go to a wealthier school in New York. And they're getting it for discount. Who cares? They have to go to the back entrance. They're getting it for cheap. But yeah, there's a YouTuber. She's famous for basically being in Miami in a penthouse on Section 8. Has nice cars, has nice clothes. She's doing the most. I don't know what she's putting on her paperwork, but she is cracking me up. I mean, it's not necessarily a penthouse. It's basically there's a penthouse above her and she lives underneath, right? Like, you know, you have floors and the penthouse is like technically the top. She lives in this building that she shouldn't, it's a very expensive building, but her and a few other people are subsidized and allowed to be in that building. So, you know what I mean? So, but that's her whole YouTube thing is people seeing her stunt on Section 8. And what I want this to do is deter that, right? You need to deter people trying to fraud paperwork. And I'll tell you this right now, I really don't believe all the income stats on black people, because I feel like a lot of people are underreporting income, trying to get a tax refund, trying to do all these tricks and trades to get tax refunds. I mean, my friend, when she worked, this is not even me talking about H&R Block. I have a friend who works here in Texas, and she'll have Hispanic people come in and they'll give her like 3-4, the W-2s at the end of the year, and she go, oh, you're not getting any money back. So then they'll take one W-2 away, and then they'll get money back. So again, like, people are doing all kind of tricks and trades to get these refunds instead of, the proper way to do things. And so I think it's hurting all of us in the economy, honestly, because it encourages people to do shady mess, which they shouldn't. I'm almost to my stop, y'all, and I can read your stuff. But that's that on Section 8. Now, the wall. The reason I was saying in the comment description, I'm afraid of the wall, is the ferocity that they're trying to build this wall. It's almost like, if you don't build this wall, America falls tomorrow. And it's like, are they trying to keep us in or trying to keep people out? Right? Because if anything major happens in America, Americans get in our cars and we roll out, right? If need be. But if there's a particular wall structure in place, I don't think that's going to happen. Thank you, Willie Little John, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate it, you guys. I really do. Thank you for supporting the channel. But I won't go too rabbit hole on that topic. I'd be dangerous on that topic. But I think there's a lot of underreporting. I've just personally experienced it when I worked at H&R Block for 3 years. I've just seen people work in taxes for years. And people try to do all this mess, these loopholes. And then they want to get approved for stuff like, oh, I make $250,000 a year. Okay, but then you only reported you only made $30 grand. You wrote everything off to the point that you only made $30,000 a year. Right? So it's just like, you try to educate people that sometimes you have to pay. Yeah, people be claiming people's kids. They be doing all kind of stuff. Oh, it says, like the movie Fences, you build a wall to keep people out, but you also keep people in. For real. I love Erica, but we need to build that wall. I mean, here's the thing. I live in Texas, and I can tell you, people come through that. They get deported, come back, deported, get back. It's a distraction. And really, when the border agents sit here and ask you, we need more border agents. The government's like, yeah, whatever. They keep asking you, because literally, if you space out all the border agents along the Texas border, it's like one dude for every 100 miles. It's so far apart. that they can never cover it. They don't have enough staff, and that's one thing. If you were to say, Erica, what's something you support? I'll support more border agents, because for one, where they live, it's not a lot of people. So as a guy, if you try to get a job down there and get your wife to follow you, she's not gonna want you to do that. She's gonna be like, nah, we ain't living down there. That's whack. There's a lot of Hispanic people and a lot of white people who would love to work as border agents. You see them every day, all the time. But we need more border agents. They've asked for more border agents every year for the past 7 years, and we will not give them more border agents. Give the guys who work on the freaking wall, where the wall would be, give it to them. And then you got Texas people who own land on both sides. You also have tribal reservations, not just Texas, but other parts of Arizona who own both sides of the wall. And they do such a good job. The tribe, they pretty much stop a bulk of crime. Like, the ton of crime that would be there, they are shutting it down, because that gives their tribal members jobs. That gives their tribal members jobs to do, checking the wall. Again, I know Donald Trump got y'all convinced we need this wall, but if the border agents are telling you for where because there's a river, there's river parts, and there's also parts where people who own land on both sides have their cattle grazing. You think these people gonna let you take their land and do that? No, they not. They've already tried this before. I'm just telling you. I'm in Texas, and the border agents are asking for more border agents. We can do both, but give them what they've been asking for 10 years in a row. Like, when they keep stopping people and they have passports and stuff from China, other countries, people know all they got to do is fly into Mexico and get up there, because there ain't enough agents and there ain't no wall. So you need a both. You need a both. I know y'all want to fight me on this, but you need a both. And I'm just telling you, like, here's the biggest part that makes me upset about Texas. When I worked at Lowe's as manager, guys would come in, be a crew, and they go, well, we need a Hispanic person. And I go, do any of y'all talk English? And one or two guys would be like, yeah, but our boss doesn't want to speak English to you. Well, you, dude, don't speak English. I would send over, there's a guy called George. He did not want to be called Jorge, but his name was George. And he'd come over, and he'd be so pissed. He'd be like, oh, man, you can talk English, and he would stop talking Spanish to them if they could talk English. He'd go, you cannot, and this is in Texas. This is how they're acting here in Austin, and Austin's way up from the border. You dig? If you go to San Antonio, they done took over San Antonio. Every time I make a joke about the Alamo, I'm like, we really did lose the Alamo. It's like, we lost all of that. So the thing about it is, not to make this channel too political, these people bring in money, but these people are also sending out money. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the best way for us to make this work. You got to realize the reason Texas is so powerful right now is when people sell everything they got. When they sell everything they got in California and come here, what does that mean? They bring all the California money. People complain about California here in Texas, but they come and they do what? They put money in the economy. They spend money. They put money in the housing. They put money in buy furniture. They go to the antique places all up in the little nowhere parts of Texas and buy stuff. They start businesses and companies. Again, this is the same thing that is happening with immigrants. They're moving around and taking money with them. That's all I'm saying. So that's one part. But also pay attention to what they're doing. Look, they are creating businesses wherever they go. Wherever they go. They don't just depend on the job economy there. Just being straight up. You can go up, if anybody here from Texas, you know anything about 79, Road 79. If you go up 79, a lot of those cities, those towns that we call dying, they've been taken over by Hispanic people, and they've rebuilt them. Kind of like, little Hispanic towns all up and down 79. They will bring economy wherever they go. Now, again, that's my rant on the wall. I'll leave it be, because I'm gonna park and see some of these comments, because I know y'all love that wall. What are you doing, dude? These people driving like stupid today. So dumb. They're so dumb. Anyway, hold on. I'm almost to my destination. Anyway, and even right now, like the thing I was talking about, Chattanooga, El Paso, Texas, Lakeland, Florida. These were ones we did shows on about 2 years ago, and you can find old videos of me going on realtor.com and LoopNet talking about these places, because these places were places of what? They were going to get contractors. They were getting Gary V bought a whole building in Chattanooga. Okay, he has a whole headquarters in Chattanooga. Then there are other companies that have stuff in Chattanooga. I'm just letting y'all know. And I know I see y'all talking about the wall, but wait a minute so I can get where I can read it. Thank you, Dan the Mentor. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, everybody who's super chatting while I'm talking. I'm telling you, I went to a conference and it was like these companies are leaving California. They are bumping out of California as fast as they can. And these are the 5 places they're going: Austin, Texas; Charlotte, North Carolina; Raleigh, North Carolina; Chattanooga, Tennessee; Nashville, Tennessee; Alpharetta. I didn't know it was Alpharetta at the time, but it was called, but they were on the target list. They said Marietta, Georgia, but it is Alpharetta. Once you guys clear that up for me, Alpharetta, Georgia. And what's happening is those companies are just putting companies there, hiring employees. Tech is going there. Pay attention. So when I talked about Chattanooga, people were like from there in the chat. I don't know if you guys are still here, but there are people in the chat from Chattanooga talking about, oh man, it ain't that great over there. I'm like, pay attention. Your city is about to massively change and you are not paying attention. You are going to be left out in your own city of Chattanooga, Tennessee, if you're not paying attention. And we saw people bad mouthing Chattanooga, saying, oh, ain't nothing there, it's poor, it ain't like Nashville. And I'm sitting here doing video after video on it, telling you the money's coming. And we even broke out and showed the diagram of where the economic plan for the downtown is. They're putting millions and millions under by the bridge. They're putting all this stuff under there, and everybody's sitting there going, oh, I don't know, Eric, I don't know. I'm like, and I even asked if somebody was from Chattanooga in the chat, if you will work with me, if you email me deals, I will work with you in Chattanooga. I could not get you guys to cooperate. Literally had a friend reach out to me. He's a wholesaler. He's literally for the past 3 years been making almost $250,000 wholesaling in Chattanooga to outside investors. And he lives there. So when it came up on the list for 2019, I'm like, it's already too late. Now, it's not technically too late. I still could probably get some deals and probably work with people there. But I was going over 2 years ago. I was showing people the numbers and somebody was complaining saying, oh, that's too expensive. And they were from there. I was like, this is 2 years ago I was showing you numbers. And I thought they were dirt cheap, penny cheap. And they were expensive then, so imagine now. So there are a ton of people leaving California for Arizona. We already showed where there's 250,000 people who moved to Arizona. Technically Phoenix, but really Arizona, the whole state. Oh no, my head closed. Hold on. Oh no. Hold on. I'm almost getting to my destination. We got one more turn. Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, Raleigh, North Carolina. Charlotte, North Carolina. Those places are completely different. Every time I go back, I'm like, what is happening? They're changing. Because the money. Follow the money. Well, I'm going to park a little bit further in. Yeah. All right. Good to go. Rudy's. Hold on. Yay! Nobody's here. That works perfect. Okay. Let me see what y'all talking about up in this chat. Let me get my seatbelt off so I can talk the smack. Okay, what we got going on? Okay, so, woo, y'all was wearing it out while I was gone. Okay, hold on. There's 202 people in here. There's 98 likes, and there's almost $80 in super chats. You guys are on fire today. Thank you, every single one of you, for supporting this channel and making me bring beautiful content to you. Thank you, I appreciate it. New Orleans, Philly in the building, Chi-Town, Tennessee, and I love watching. What part of Tennessee? DMV area, California, Philly. Thank you. Yes, Navy Federal, baby. They gonna hit our baby. Mobile, Alabama, Navy Federal got me for $5,800. Ooh, Tanya Poe. So sorry. Houston, Raleigh. I'm on the 19th. Let's see. Hold on a second. Listen, water's good for you. Jesus made it for you. All right, Los Angeles, Chicago, Illinois, New Orleans, Atlanta, Bay Area, Jackson, Mississippi, Dallas, Savannah. Again, thank you, Trucker Maven, for the $2 super chat. Thank you, Diane Young, for the $25 super chat. Showing the love. I have a credit union. Okay. I don't deal with banks, Mr. Supreme. You know, someday you might have to. I heard people with food stamps get double stamps. If Rasheed Davis, if they hold them food stamps in February, you know it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. I can just tell you right now. And listen, if you on food stamps and you don't have chicken stacked to the ceiling up in the refrigerator, I don't know what you're doing. Chicken, steaks, rice, beans, you should have it stacked to the ceiling right now. If I heard rumblings of this in December, I would be stacked to the ceiling. Just in case they took it in January, or just in case they took it in February. But see, y'all be playing games out here. What's the other one? Keep your money under your mattress. Oh yeah. I mean, listen. This is what I've decided. The show American Greed should be an MBA qualified class. I'm not even, and I know some people are like, Erica, that's insulting. I have MBA. No, listen to me. I've watched American Greed like on a marathon and learned more about starting a business. Like, I watch American Greed like this. I see what they do and I go, if he would have just did A and B, he would have a legit business. Every fucking time, dude. I watch American Greed, and every time I see something, I go, if he would just do A, B, and C, he'd have a legit business. But because his mind, or her mind, sometimes it's hers, are so warped that they do this shady stuff, it's like, you were so close to being legit. Why are you doing this? And that's why, and this is another reason too why I'm starting the investment groups. I'm starting because I feel like there's not enough good people out here doing. It's just all these shady people, and you have to go, we have to cull it. What do I consider to be job hopping? What do you mean job hopping? Shock and awe? Yeah, possibly. Oh, there's a black grocery store called Your Supermarket. Interesting. I don't do banks. Cash is king. Yeah, I mean, cash can, listen. If you look at the flea markets here in Austin, Texas, there's one on Lamar, and it's down the street from Chinatown. If you're ever here, go there on a Saturday and get your mind blown. There's millions of dollars moving in at that place. They have armed security, like, all over it, because they know the Hispanic people, and they're just, you would literally call farmers markets. I would say the cash that moves between farmers markets is almost a black market level movement of money. Millions of dollars is moving every time you look. So thank you, 199 for super chat from Nimia Buckner. I'm saying your name wrong. I apologize. Oh my gosh. Fools are messing it up for me. I've been with them 25 years, never a hassle getting a loan or anything. I'm telling you, Navy Federal love it gives you love, but y'all got to do right. I take Section 8, Michael B, 28. Never had a problem. You have to screen. You do have to screen. You do have to screen. This is very true. But I think there is some generational cheaters on the system. At the end of the day, I know this is the thing. I'm going to say this, and someone's going to come after this video renders, and they go, well, Erica, what about businesses taking billions of dollars? What about businesses doing this? Like, stop. Please stop. We have to either have a standard or we don't have a standard. To say it's okay for people to cheat Section 8 or cheat themselves, let's be honest, they're cheating themselves, is okay because businesses cheat. It's like so stupid. It's like saying it's okay for you to cheat because that pastor over there cheated on his wife, so you guys are the same. You are not the same. You are not The Rock. You are not Vin Diesel. You are not any of these people. You are not the same, so you cannot do the same things, if that makes sense. I am so unfamiliar. I initially thought Section 8 was a section of an apartment only poor people could live. Little film that is hilarious. I live in a building with a woman with kids in Section 8. It's scary times. I live in New York. Ooh, be careful. Exactly. Everyone should be saving their money. They better get that scraping that February rent together. Listen, here's the thing. I think legally with the law, let's say you only pay $200 or whatever for your rent, your portion. If you give it to your landlord on the first of the month, technically he cannot evict you because you did pay a portion of your rent the portion that was legally binded for you that you were supposed to pay, that would be interesting. But that, yeah, you legally have paid your part. I remember going to this one apartment complex. This guy had just moved in. He lived there for less than 2 months. And he was like, oh, I lost my job, so I'm going to go move in with my parents. At first, the first thing I wanted to do, because this is when I was starting the Classy Climb journey on YouTube, I wanted to say, first, stop yourself. You just lost your job 4 days ago. Go to work somewhere, anywhere. Go make some money and pay your rent. But when he said that, I just looked at him like, you too old for that. You're too old for that. But we have a lot of people in Austin who are like, oh, I'd never take a job outside my field because then I can never get back in my field. And that's not true. So Jeff said, I have TSP and got over 50K in it. I'm good during the shutdown. Hey. Oh, wow. And he said it's a mind cringe what happened after Christmas, because January is supposed to be the month to recover from Christmas. See, you can't, and that's such a consumer mindset. You can't live like that. This is a sign to make more money and do my side business. Facts, facts, facts. No one's buying that all of a sudden cheesecake. Hey, they selling it. They get all in the news and everything. Phoebe George, thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Goddess Noel, for the $10 super chat. Time to wipe those Jordans off and get a refund. T. Kelly, too much. I work for Los Angeles County, and they're going to issue SNAP early for February. Interesting, Danny's World. Listen, call Trump crazy if you want to. You're not crazy enough to have your tax refund not come and your food stamps not come. You got to think about there's 120 million people getting tax refund checks this year. There's 40 million people on food stamps. That's too big of a population to have. My shit's not here. That's too big of a population. Willie Littlejohn, that's slightly racist what you just said there. I'm gonna ignore it. No, she said a lady took a loan because her kids want an iPhone, Apple Watch, and some UGG boots. She felt obligated. See, she need to rein that in. Exactly. Listen, and I'm telling you, I remember a woman that when I was working at the Section 8 housing, she had twins and an adult son that were all graduating 12th grade. So I guess the little boy got held back a grade. And she was already signing them up for food stamps. Like, they were going away to college here in Texas. And she was already signing them up for food stamps. I'm trying to remember all the details of the story, but I just was sitting there like disappointed. Because that's the best she could do for them. The best she could do for them is like, well, you can get food stamps in college. And they were going with almost full rides. They were smart kids. And I just felt horrible because that's all she could offer them. She really couldn't offer them knowledge or something useful. She was just putting them up on food stamps. Like, I can't afford to give you nothing. And I'm like, that's a hard way to even start college or even finish college. People are laughing at Section 8 people, but in reality, if you have a job, you're in the same boat, depending on someone's boat. No. Rep Hughes text, that's not true. We're not making fun of Section 8. What I'm telling you is the fact remains, if you have a job and you're not stacking money, regardless of who you are, you're going to be affected. But the reality is some people have abused Section 8, period. We can't get around that. Oh, yeah. Listen, let me tell you, Trent Davis, I go off the census numbers, but I will keep it a buck. I think, honestly, I've been seeing nothing but drip articles from national policy saying, oh, we've been miscounting white people for 20 years. We've been miscounting black people for 20 years. Like, they keep saying the same thing. Like, pay attention to the news. If they keep telling you we've been miscounting, this is what's going to happen. They're going to do the 2020 census, and they're going to go, whoops, Hispanic and black people are way bigger than we thought. Whoops, my bad. Whoops. All of a sudden, and play dumb, like they didn't know. When they've been dropping article after article saying that, oh, our numbers are off. I'm in Texas. I can tell you right now, out of 7 million kids in Texas, half of them are 3.5 million, 50% of them are Hispanic. So, and that's what people moving here every single day. Honestly, let's be honest. They're white from California moving here every day, and they're black from up north moving here every day. That's what I'm seeing. That's just an assessment. Oh yeah, Yolanda. Listen, food stamps will mostly affect white people, but that's my whole point. If you're gonna not have tax returns and you're not gonna have food stamps in West Virginia, like I just told you guys, I don't know if you saw the video a couple days ago. The top 5 states that were Googling about what about their food stamps were West Virginia, New Hampshire, Alaska, and Hawaii. Now, who live in those states? Now, Hawaii, we know who lived there, but the other 4, we know who lived there. Okay. And then after that, it was like Googling about tax refunds. Alabama, Mississippi, DC, which is in Virginia, and then another couple states. So I'll pull that up. Willie John, thank you for the $10 super chat. Not landmines, Mike B. Good Lord. The wall's another distraction. I can believe that. They better jump on my DoorDash code so I can get my $2,500 bonus being offered. That's what they should do. T. Kelly, hey. I mean, exactly. They're going to make underground tunnels like hardcore. Build the wall, too much money, leaving American economy. Let me tell you something, Marcus. I can tell you this right now. Mexico was rebuilt because of all the money they sent home. The past 20 years, if you look at, and this is after the lawsuit that made Western Union show up their data. Western Union has 30 million unique, that means individual, each one's different, people sending money to South America, and they did not include Mexico. So that means we have 30 million people that could be from Brazil, all the countries underneath Mexico, you name them, every single country. Go pull out a map, somebody, and put them in the comment section. But for real. So that means, and for the past 20 years, if you send $100, let's just do simple math. We had 10 million Mexicans send $100 home a week, and they know where they sent more, but $100 a week. How much money is that, y'all? They've sent hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars home, billions of dollars home to Mexico. That's why they're not coming here anymore. Most people that they do intake for are not Mexican. They're from way further south, El Salvador, Guatemalans, Honduras, all these other people from other countries further down are the ones coming in. It's not Mexicans. That's why that's why I said when Obama said the Haitians could come from Brazil, I said, if you let Haitians come, if you let those 100,000 Haitians that are at the border, which I'm pretty sure they've been sneaking in here and there, come into America that came from Brazil, Haiti would look like Miami in 3 years. If you really, because Haiti only has 10 million people. If you could pull in about 1 million Haitians and they all send $100 home a week, and you know they're making like 60, 70 cents an hour and stuff in parts of Haiti, imagine what Haiti will look like in 3-4 years. They don't even need government aid. That's my whole point. When people come to America, they're sending money out. They're making more money while they're here and sending money out. But they do build businesses and they do make money. They don't just come to America to take your job. Like, I love how people try to say, oh, they're lazy and they're taking jobs. How they doing both? Come on now. But the wall won't stop that. I'd much rather tax a lot of these immigrants at a higher rate, and they would pay it. They would gladly pay it. Because what you guys don't understand is there's a thing called a business visa, and all you need to make is $250,000 a year with your business and have 5 employees, and you can qualify for a business visa. And they wrote this article kind of bashing Indians, which I thought was wrong, but they were bashing Indians, saying Indians were abusing it. No, they're not. If you got an Indian cousin come here in tech, he brings his wife and his aunts and his cousins, and then they starts a business while you're here, and he brings more family. Who is that? How is he abusing it? He's putting money in their economy. I'm just telling you, if you come to Austin, Texas right now, we have at least 47 new Indian restaurants that popped up all over Austin. All over, because they know the game. They know how to get the family here now. Goody Mob tried to tell us decades ago about the wall. What did Goody Mob say? Truly, we need more agents. I'm from Texas, build a wall. It's an infrastructure play to stimulate the economy and create jobs. Todd Capital, very correct. Listen, We've got about 2,000 bridges all over the United States that need money. Let's fix those bridges. Like, if you ever hear anything people say about our country, people from Hong Kong, people from other countries, the Alibaba CEO was like, America done spent its load going to war. It should have spent the money fixing its country. Look at this is how you know people don't travel. But if you literally leave America and go to some of these other airports, you are blown away at the technology in the airports. Look at Jermaine Ellis videos. Jermaine Ellis does a great job of showing you the airports where he goes in other countries. They're out of this world, off the chain tech and amazing. I know, Nikki baby, yeah. We get a lot of that in Southern California. Ton of Canadian snowbirds in Arizona. Yeah. Just charge people 2x and they'll send them. Yep. You probably could send them 2x. You could charge them taxes. They probably would pay it still. I mean, and here's how powerful money Western Union is. And I've told y'all this story multiple times. There was a company rivaling Western Union in Somalia. It was an African company. Western Union wanted to be in Somalia, refused. Like, Somalia was like, no, we don't want, nope. So then all of a sudden, President Bush at the time, put Somalia and the Western Union company that was similar. It was not Western Union, but it was a similar company. They put it on the terrorist list. So then you couldn't send money to Somalia anymore. So you had all these people in Western that were living in Minnesota, that lived in Wisconsin, that live in Canada, couldn't send millions of dollars home to their families anymore. So what ended up happening after that? Somali pirates. Right? They couldn't get money from America anymore. Somali pirates. So America stimulates the world, if you want to be honest. People who are here, immigrants who are here, they change their families' lives in other countries. Oh, yeah. I mean, this is Esmeralda makes a good point. The wall is a way to overcharge the government for contracting work and for upkeep. It's an expensive boondoggle. Yeah, it'll forever take. There'll just be millions of dollars every year pouring into that wall and almost never get finished. Okay, here's the thing. Mike B, this isn't about black. Listen, if Trump gives black contractors half the contracts to build the wall, would you be for it? No, because here's the thing. Every day of the week, I see black contractors win awards and then turn around and give it to Mexican companies and white dudes. I see it all the time. So everybody keeps trying to be like, well, what if we give it to black people? There is a black contractor, and she's very wealthy. Her name is Gail Warrior. It's the Warrior Group in Dallas. They got a $150 million contract for El Paso, Texas. She's one of the most wealthiest black contractors in the United States, period. She still has to use other types of people contractors to fulfill all the parts of her contracts. So again, every time people act like, well, Don Peoples got this money or Gail Warrior got $150 million, doesn't mean she had $150 million in black employees. She had all kind of people. Danny's World said, I had a person with $2 million business got write-offs to move the income to $20,000. That's disgusting. That's crazy. Thank you, Leslie, for the $10 super chat. We love the wall and the president buffet gourmet. Man, listen. And somebody brought up a good point the other day. I'm going to take your point. They said, what if the staff is furloughed at the White House? That's a good point. But I feel like even so, there's always staff there to cook. And I'm not saying the boys needed lobsters and steaks, but a little bit more, you know what I mean? These are kids who are really kind of like, it's hard to even keep McDonald's hot, right? They said there were Domino's pizzas and other stuff there, but I just almost feel like, just give me the tour of the White House. I don't even want this nasty ass food. You know what I mean? People drive across legally and then they stay. It's not difficult. Also, more people are leaving than coming. Oh, prime example, Charlotte, North Carolina. JetBlue Airlines and several of the airplanes there go to the international islands. Antigua, what is the other one? St. Thomas, St. Lucia, all the islands. Cayman Islands. Not Cayman because it's too small. It's the other place beside Cayman. But essentially what has happened in Charlotte is a lot of these black people who speak enough English because they're from the islands and they still speak the Queen's English. They come over to Charlotte. and they go to school or they fly over and then they never leave. And there's a nightclub there that stays open really late, and the guy's been in America 30 years. He ain't going nowhere. Where he going? Nowhere. Thank you, Dan, the mentor, for the 1 super chat. What does this say? They can do border security cheaper and more effective than the wall, but it's the way Trump did it. Yeah. Hey, Eric, I'm Carnado's sister. Great content. Thank you. Who's Carnado? Oh, Casino. Oh, okay. I know. I figured it out. Alpharetta, GA is north of Atlanta in Fulton County. They will have a problem. The commute up there is a beast. I mean, the commute up there is a beast, but just leave Atlanta. Move to Alpharetta. I mean, there was a whole article talking about all the white people leaving Alpharetta because all the Indians and Asians and the basically different Eastern countries that were coming there. They were leaving because they were saying the schools weren't fair and their kid can never be a valedictorian and like the math classes and like just complaining of like basically these brown people are really smart and we don't like it, and moving their kids across town. And even people in the article were saying, well, this isn't real America. Honey, yes it is. That's for your child under 18. This is going to be real America. Very brown, always. Lockheed Martin left LA for Florida. Exactly, engineering campus. Alpharetta, Georgia, the market didn't change, doing to crash out a house and prices stayed the same. Successfully foods. Some are even buying Detroit property on the down low. Brothers in Harlem want the mall immediately. Okay. Listen, if a lot of those companies move to Atlanta, let me put it to you this way. You're not going to live in Atlanta. You will not be able to afford to live in Atlanta. Only engineers will live in Atlanta. I'll put it to you that way. If they keep moving there. Some of us make it happen. Some of us watch it happen. Some of us look up later and wonder what happened. Facts, Todd Capital. Facts. I'm relocating to Raleigh soon. I love it here in Durham. Thanks. I live in Charlotte. Texas till I die. Listen, I'm doing the travel CEO method. I don't know if you guys remember me talking about that, but I essentially want to in the future. That's why I was so big on Chattanooga. I want to buy either a place in Chattanooga or a place in Nashville, and then also a place in Charlotte. And those will be my 3 rollout points for business. I just know there's going to be some future real estate business for me in those places. So, ever notice in those apocalypse movies, Texas is still called Texas? Yeah. Birmingham, Alabama up in here. What's up, George Jackson? Birmingham's been making a ton of money too. Investors been hitting Birmingham for the past 3 years. Trump, Charlotte. Enjoy your workout. Uh-oh. What's going on? I don't know. Looking forward, not backwards. Love your channel. Keep it coming. Thank you. Dave Ramsey, rice and beans. Listen, when Dave Ramsey talks about rice and beans, like, I don't think people understand that when you're in debt, and this is, I'm talking about credit card debt. I'm talking about like debt that don't make sense, right? Your house will be your house. I mean, I'm not gonna knock you on that, but I'm talking about credit card trips, vacations, like stupid shit on your credit cards. That's debt. That's like you're on fire. Your student loan debt is a fire, and people out here email me, Eric, I own $20,000 student loan debt. Let's break that down. $150 a month for 10 years. That's your student loan debt paid off. Or let's say you want to pay in 5 years. That's $300 a month for 5 years. Let's say you want to pay it off in 2.5 years. That's $600 a month. Now people are going to say, $600 a month, Eric, I ain't got that. If you worked a part-time job, you would. If you started a part-time business, you would. You know, some of you have skills that you could help clients and get paid $500 a month. There's several people I know who do website design for $1,000 a pop. And literally cheap websites for $1,000. They could pay off their debt sooner. It's a choice. All this stuff is a choice. But when people act like beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes, hey, I see what you did there, Ben the bartender. People are bullcrapping. Oh, yes. White people in VA will be affected the most. It was the number 1 on the list. There's about to be a lot more car break-ins in Oakland. Oh man. Listen, I'm serious. If you want to go, you say, Erica, I want to learn about selling boats. I want to learn about selling houses. I want to learn about creative financing. I want to learn about all these things. You literally could watch 3 seasons of American Greed. They have 11 seasons. In American Greed, every single time the FBI will and the different bureaus that investigate financial crimes will tell you. People don't come tell them. So there's a lot more going on out there. They just can't even get it all. They can't get all people. People won't snitch. People are embarrassed they lost money. I've had clients call me and tell me they've lost money on all kind of Bitcoin scams. And you guys thought I was talking shit about Bitcoin, but I've had people call me and go, I've lost $18,000 to some company in somewhere else. I've lost $20,000 to a company in Georgia. I would drive to Georgia, baby, and find them because ain't nothing I can do for you. My friend gets two stamps. She has 2 preteens and 2 teens. Ooh. American Greed, these fools keep taking money for investing and never invest. That's my whole problem in Barcelona. They really do crazy stuff on America. Like there was one guy, and this is the power of community and network. This one guy, he was a neighborhood smart kid. He was like too smart for his own good. So he gets older and he goes, hey, I'm going to do an investment fund. Everybody in the neighborhood, even his brother, who's a doctor, gives him all their money because he was the smart kid from the neighborhood. And he squanders it on a mistress, on cars. He literally could have just went across the street and bought a bunch of stuff up in Philly and actually used the money the right way, and they would all been paid. But they gave him like $7, $8, $10 million, dude. True. In Cali, 55,000 is broke. Hey, that's why I did the casino video. People keep acting like, oh, I mean, people are sitting there debating him. Same thing when I'm on No Shade Channel. Dudes are like, oh, 60K is some money. Okay, but if we say a single mom makes 60K a year, you're going to be like, she ain't got no money. So it's like this double talk that's so exhausting. It's like 60K is no money if you're in New York. 60K is no money if you're in California. 60K is barely any money if you're in Miami. Come on, Miami folks. Don't leave me hanging. It's just not a lot of money, and they keep showing you that 117,000 in California is low income. You guys aren't counting in taxes and you're not counting in inflation. You're just not. I have my money on Trump and not on liberals who've never built anything. Todd, it's a trip. I live in Raleigh. Worked for Sony Ericsson for 6 years. They laid off masses and moved to Atlanta in 2011. Raleigh was booming though. Purchased my first home there. Raleigh's still booming. Like companies are. Here's the thing: if you get a promotion sometimes in Austin, they send you to Raleigh, and then you get another promotion, you come back to Austin. So it's like that's why people say, Erica, you ever think about moving back to North Carolina? I'm like, it's the same. It's just smaller. Okay, thank you, Daniel McCray. Jeff said he said his TSP is stacked up. What is the U channel of the Penthouse Section 8? I want to see this. Man, if I can go find it, I think I'm going to have to ask Hood Estates or one of the other people because they know what I'm talking about too. Trent Davis, trucking don't stop. Listen to me. There's a reason I'm going in this direction. Trucking don't stop. If a truck stops, like when the truckers did a protest, like they just all got out of their trucks at a weight station, and I think it was near Reno, but it had to be Nevada. I know it was Nevada. It wasn't California. They all met up like as they were leaving California. They stopped in Nevada. So sorry. I can double check that, but they stopped in Nevada. And they're stopping for 8 hours. And then the company gave in to their demands. Within that 8 hours, because they stopped in Nevada for 8 hours, places on the East Coast were going to be short of food for a day or two. If trucks stop for 3 days in a major city, the city has a shortage everywhere. They can stop a city. Truckers can stop a city. That is why 30,000 Sikh Indians are now truckers. That is why people are coming here day and night. That's why you keep running into truckers that don't speak English, that are from other countries. They trucking is a needed thing. And people keep saying, oh, these automatic trucks are going to come. They're not coming as fast as you think. They're just not. I'm sorry. They're just not. Same in Ohio. Food stamps are getting double ordered this month and next month. See, AM1 petty up here. He being petty. So I'm very concerned how I'm feeding my kids. AM1 ain't got no kids, y'all. He be petty. Number 5. Oh, somebody gave a super chat and retracted their message. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's gone now, though. Dang, he said federal employees need to be on Section 8 if they can't afford to miss one check. I'm telling you. Somebody said 60,000 is a lot of money. All right. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just trying to get my EIN number. I'm not trying to get caught up in this recession. I see the struggle with the shutdown. Must do better now. Facts, Erica Watson. I'm going to get on out of here because I got a call from a... Ooh, oops. I see it. Okay, I got some calls coming up here. Mexico and China benefit from our labor. Alpha Trucker, man. Alpha Trucker, I'm not a Democrat. Everybody who watches this channel should know I'm pretty conservative. In local elections, I vote Republican, but I'm an independent. I go off the basis of each individual candidate. But I see what they're saying here. Willie Littlejohn asked this question, and I've told y'all this story multiple times. I don't understand why people on Section 8 don't get in the home ownership program. Here in Austin, Texas, they created a program where they would give you $15,000 as your down payment on your house. Originally, it was $7,000, but because Austin's going so expensive so fast, it's $15,000. And if you make all 12 of your first year's mortgage payments on time, you don't even have to pay back the loan. So they've been marketing this year after year to all the people on Section 8. And guess what? They couldn't get more than 100 people to show up. All year long, they couldn't get people to show up. So what they started doing is open it to all Austin residents because of the affordable housing problems they're having here. I went, and the time I went to go get it checked out, like just this is when I could qualify financially. You had to make $105,000. But anyway, this is when I could qualify. I don't qualify anymore. But I went, and there was a ton of Asians, Vietnamese, people who just came to America not even 6 months ago, but they lived in government housing, and guess what? They were there for the find out about the home ownership program. So these programs are available to people. People just have to make the initiative to go. And somebody in here in the comment section said that a lot of times people don't finish the class. It's like 4 classes. Haiti can't like Mammy because it stole his money. Yeah. Thank you, $10 Mother's Wisdom Tree. Okay, phone, okay. You know, Lando, not even making a joke about it, Lando said we need to be advisor to the president. I would love to go work at the White House for 10 days and get fired like Scaramucci. I'd have millions of dollars. I mean, like, y'all don't understand. They look out for their own. Even when Omarosa was getting fired, they were setting Omarosa up for another job. They didn't know she was writing that book, but they were already setting it up for her to get another job. See, people are bad-mouthing Trump and all these people getting fired, but these people literally just move on to another job. You're never really fired once you get up to that level. They look out for you. This is why I keep talking about networking, and y'all are not really hearing me. When you start networking at certain levels, people just keep looking out for you. They just keep sliding you laterally. I'm going to CPAC this year. I'm going to CPAC. Conservative Party Action Committee. I'm going. Because you just don't even know who's there. You don't even know. Don't even know. Just, you got to get in there. I'm not going to read that. Blacksmith Financial. Thank you for the $5 super chat. C. Low of Goody Mob was unsure if the wall was built to keep crime out or to keep them in the hood. Blacksmith Financial is here for the B1 comrades. Thank you. AD Henson, you got to go watch the early part of the video. I'm not going to repeat that again. Yes, Somali pirates also began because the Japanese were overfishing their waters. So they were, if you go back and you watch any of the Somali pirates news, it is also too because the Japanese were the only boats they were attacking. They were attacking certain boats, but not which ones. So exactly. You're right. Many of those college kids will never see. Yep, you're right. Man, y'all are in here for a day, for real. Yes, look up your community grants. Austin, Texas, they're making the first MLS stadium and soccer team. Yeah, they're making that soccer team here because we have a ton of Hispanic people here. Right now in Houston, let me tell you the power of money in your community being representative. They're putting that soccer stadium here is because they know they can make a ton of bank off of all the Hispanic people in San Antonio and the Hispanic people up and down between Austin and San Antonio, which is millions of them. Okay. Secondly, Houston has a cricket stadium coming. Why is it coming? Because the Indians in Houston have gained so much power, so much financial power that they are putting up a almost $1 billion stadium. It is called owning a business, getting in your community, dominating. Chinatown here. People try to act like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. Austin's super diverse. I didn't see that many Asians. You're looking in the wrong places. We are loaded to the brims with Asians. From the colleges here to Chinatown, we have a huge part of Koreans here. We have a huge part of Japanese here. They come to dominate. The road on I-35 is owned by a Korean company. So you guys have to pay attention. Like, I try to drop gems carefully, but if you're not in a position of ownership in this country, you're asking for poverty. You're asking for a slap in the face. That's all I'm saying. You're careful, son of Nook. I know what you're trying to say. Careful, but thank you. Slutty Vegan Restaurant now has 1,500 people at its grand opening. Open a business if you can, if it makes sense. If it makes sense to you. If it doesn't, don't do it. But you need to own something in this country. Because if I was in Atlanta right now, I would call Slutty Vegan and be like, I will give you my location with free rent for 2 days, for 2 months. Because I know they're looking for another location. I would be blowing their phone up. Where are all the Bitcoin guys that used to be in the comments? Ben the bartender, you see that, right? They used to be all up in my comments insulting me about Bitcoin. But they quiet now, ain't they? They real quiet. How are the Hispanics with the blacks in Texas? Michael Dennis, people don't want to believe this, but the Hispanic men, depending on what culture, they are marrying the black ladies, they're marrying the white ladies, they're marrying all the ladies. And I will say this, if you come from New York, this is what I'm hearing from a lot of New York Hispanics. They're upset with the Hispanics when they come here. They say the Hispanics here act like they're white. And I know a guy, he's from Brooklyn, he's half black, half Hispanic, but he don't speak Spanish. Not well, like choppy, but not well. And he's like, people won't speak Spanish to me, or they act white, or they say they don't speak Spanish. And I had to tell him, I was like, don't take it personal. Like, a lot of Hispanic people here, you got to realize in the 80s, their moms were forcing them to not speak Spanish, speak English so you can get a job. And now these same people, they have kids who are third generation, can't speak English, can't speak Spanish. It's a big deal. So there is some kind of rub between the like, you'll go places and a guy will look Spanish and you'll try to ask him something in Spanish. He's like, I don't know Spanish. Like, they'll get upset with you. But I will say they get along most areas with black people. Like in Georgetown, I'm not even joking, you guys. I went to Georgetown, Texas grocery store. And I wish I could do the camera without people slapping me. But literally, there was every grocery store, every woman, white, black, Hispanic. She had a Hispanic looking husband covered in paint or some kind of construction gear. And I was laughing, but it was like every single woman. Black, white, and Hispanic women. All in the store. Right now, near Houston, there was a white woman who threw a chair. Like, she literally broke the car, what do you call it, the windshield on the car of a couple. It was a Hispanic man with a cowboy hat on and his black wife, and they were looking at houses. And they went around the backyard, looked at the open house, and then when they came back out, this white woman was breaking their window, saying she didn't want them to live there. So there is some areas where the Hispanic black people don't get along, but majority they do. Majority they do. Just being honest. Kimberly, some of you will not regret moving around Rock at all. Check. Yep. Check. I'm telling you, Round Rock is the number 3rd fastest growing. I think it's town or city in the United States for homes. Trust but verify always. Ooh, 60K Miami. Yeah, that's gonna sting. 55 is the medium in LA, I believe, which is no money in Los Angeles. But Fresno, you doing a little better. But Fresno, I mean, it's so hood. Is it? Oh, dang. Somebody said he has a property in somewhere Georgia under my legal name. Thinking of switching to my LLC. Switch it to your LLC. We value unity. Oh, you're going to have to go back to the beginning of the video where we did Navy Federal. Round Rock is amazing. I'm not going to lie to you. Dallas. Dallas, if you get in with a good community and good friends, you'll be fine. But I feel like Round Rock, and the reason I chose Austin over Houston, which in the end I may regret that years from now. I chose it because it was smaller, it was more navigatable. I was able to a lot of people here are tech focused, startup focused, and I don't think I will regret it. I think it'd have been easier if there were a lot more black people when I first got here. But again, Round Rock 15% is 10% black. Pflugerville's 15% black. Hutto's 15% black. Maynard's 30% black. So it's actually probably more than that by now. But so there's black people here. They're just in the different areas. But Round Rock's nice. Trump will be on American Greed one day. I don't know about that, Jason. I don't know. Yeah, I've heard they're trying to lowball truckers. I heard. I found out through my baby's Head Start program. Interesting. Thai Capital. Empress, how are you so knowledgeable on so many things? So Empress, I will say I am a voracious reader. I was I guess a head. I don't know how you're going to say it nicely. I was a head in high school. I did all AP classes. I didn't do any. I went to a Christian private school for a while. Essentially, I could have graduated high school early, but I didn't. Actually, a year early, but I didn't. So my family's always put me in a ton of different programs, a ton of different studies. When I was in college, 2 degrees. Just trust me, I've worked a lot of different jobs, and I'm a voracious learner. I want to know why your company does that, or I'll go to conferences that have nothing to do with my major and learn a ton of stuff. I did an internship at Edward Jones. I've done a lot of different things that at the time my family was like, oh, she's always hopping on different things. But now looking back in life, they are benefit me so much that I'm going to be able to probably go from one income bracket. Every couple of years I go from one income bracket to a whole nother one, to a whole nother one, to a whole nother one. Yeah, I mean, I've taken jobs that I didn't like just to learn. That's how I'm so knowledgeable. And then you have to think about it. I have a family that started out in farming. And then they all as a massive move of 80s farm crunch. We had a nurse in our family. We had some teachers. We've had some different medical staff. We've got a dental hygienist. We've got several different military people. I'm trying to think of all the different careers. My mama has different MOSs, just different things. And I've been able to move ever since I was 12 years old, maybe even 11, I think. We've gone on family cruises every year for 20 years now. So I've been able to be exposed to a lot, learn a lot about business, tax liens. I've just been blessed with the family I have, honestly. That my grandma was very big on get up and move on. Get up and move on. This happened, we're all getting up at the same time and we're moving on. And there was a time where we were all smashed up in an older house because everybody was out. Everybody was either military, they were going overseas, something had happened, everybody was at school that day. A whole family moved in unison. We're changing because farming, and you know what I mean, we're gonna be broke. So that's how I'm so knowledgeable in so many things, is I've just come from a family of like pushers and thinkers. And like my mom would go to school and fight and go, hey, my daughter tested this high, she's going to be in this next class, you're going to put her in this class, you're going to put her in calculus, like constantly pushing. So that's a short answer. And I read, if you think about it, there was a part where I read not 1,000 books, but I would say there's 400 books at my mom's house that I need to move. There's about 350 books at my house currently. I listen to audiobooks. There was a 3-year period where all I did is read, but I would take action immediately right after. Action. Whether I worked a job or 2 jobs, I would take action. I'd take my money and make it do something. I was always pushing. And I'm just very blessed to live in America, because if you think about it, every year we go on those cruises, you see brown people who cannot. All they can be is a janitor. All they can be is the tourism guy that has to like talk to you every day in Jamaica because that's his job, you know. And he may not want to do that. He may want to do more. He want to leave there. So I think I'm grateful, and I have a good perspective. Omarosa won at 7 figures a year. They only pay her $250,000. That's possible. Yeah. I know. What's funny about Christmas trees? Our next door neighbor actually owns a Christmas tree farm. You can literally buy Christmas tree farms and orchards from you know where. So yeah, a cricket stadium in Houston, on the way to Houston. It's gonna be huge. Georgetown is nice. Had some French toast ice cream there. Oh, cool. Is my trucking investing still up? Right now I think we have all the people we can take for 3 trucks. But again, if you saw the link on YouTube, fill out the assessment form. Again, the assessment form was for people who had $5,000 to $10,000. There's a reason I'm doing that. You should be in a comfortable, saved up position that does not break you. And honestly, everybody that responded that was in my live training the other day, they already sent money over almost all of them. So these are people who are, again, get your money up first and then look for those higher, bigger investments. Oh, Rock and Roll Dina, are you talking about your business? What are you talking about? Are you talking about? Oh, you learn how to trade. Got you. Let me see what else y'all got. All right, I got to get out of here. We're going an hour and 22 minutes. This is getting ridiculous. This is like a TV show. All right, you guys. This is Erica from the Classy Clown blog, author of Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Invest in People, Businesses, and Real Estate from the palm of your hand. You guys are always awesome. Thank you for about almost at $100 in super chats today. You guys are great. Be great. I hope that was informational for you. For those of you who missed the Navy Federal part, it's at the beginning of the video. Also, those who missed Chattanooga part, that's at the beginning of the video.